Before the video gets under the way, I just wanted to thank y'all for all of the support that you have given me so far in this YouTube journey. I know that I don't average a lot of viewers per video, and I understand maybe the way I'm talking, maybe the way I'm saying things, maybe not a fit for y'all, but for the few that watches it, I appreciate y'all for keep watching it and continue to support. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my YouTube page that I will incorporate right here. Please subscribe to my Instagram and Twitter pages. Yes, I know on IG and Twitter I don't do much of the posting, but I am active on there. So just subscribe to my YouTube, my Instagram, and my Twitter pages. So like, share, subscribe, comment if you're brand new, of course. And we're gonna get straight into the video that's been in the makings for a little while, and that is exposing that fraud, bald booker in the game, Triple H. Let's go.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. In wrestling, that's not just a quote. That's Triple H's career arc in one sentence. The King of Kings, the cerebral assassin, the man who spent years positioning himself as the anti Vince McMahon. Now, in 2025, he's walking the same path as Vince, only with a sledgehammer instead of a grapefruits promo. Once upon a time, Triple H was the hero. He gave us NXT's glory days, takeovers that made the main roster look stale. He swore he had the deepest roster in history and promised to push them all. He swore this was going to be different. But the man who once fought for opportunity has become the one who's handing out pink slips. Under his watch, wrestlers has been released, some without warning, some with it. Others left to rot in catering. If you're not in his inner circle, good luck getting TV time. If you think differently than him, forget it. Because here's the truth. Triple H isn't looking for great minds that don't think alike. He's looking for minds that think alike. If your vision of wrestling doesn't match his, you're done. People who work with him say it outright. He always doesn't have good ideas. And when he's challenged, it's not met with collaboration. It's met with resistance, that jealousy, that ego from not being the face of the company as a wrestler. It's like he's taking it out on anyone who dares to think differently now that he's the face of WWE Creative. And if we're being honest, this isn't new. No, this isn't. The early 2000s told us what kind of booker Triple H would become. Remember that infamous Reign of Terror? No, you remember, it wasn't just an on-screen ego trip. It was a preview of his mindset. Protect yourself, push your favorites, control the narrative, and if you're not in this plan, you're not in the picture. Hence, a Cody Rhodes. Hence, a Seth Rollins. Hence, Rhea Ripley. Hence, Becky Lynch. And maybe just a few others. Today, he's the face of creative, and instead of the revolution fans were promised, we're watching the same mistakes we saw under Vince. Favoritism, just named a few wrestlers before. Safe booking, recycle stories, missed opportunity. Triple H didn't just inherit Vince's chair. Nah, he inherited Vince's habits. The difference, Triple H could just talk a big game and sold us on something being better. The man who once fought the system is now the system. The hero of NXT has lived long enough to see himself become the villain. And this time around, there's no kayfabe in sight. Looking back at that, looking back at his career, and everything I talked about is so true, because the reason is that jealousy, that ego of his, has hurt the way WWE's ran today, in my opinion. Triple H, once held as a hero, a guy people could trust, not only just from wrestlers, but from fans himself, has ultimately lost the people who once trusted him. It's easy to book in front of 500 people, maybe a little more, in a developmental program where the expectation is just to develop. But when you hit the main roster and the pressure becomes, you're not just booking in front of 500 plus people. No, you're booking into thousands and millions of people who's watching the product on a weekly basis. And it's fair to say that this year, 2025, Triple H has failed at doing that. He talks about long-term storytelling, yet when stories become too long, he doesn't know how to pull the plug. If you watch The Unreal, you will hear Rhea Ripley, I almost call her Rhea Tipley. You will hear Rhea Ripley talked about how her rivalry with Liv Morgan was like Groundhog Day, because everything kept being the same thing over and over, and it was just too much. I will say this, the beginning of the rivalry was cool, but then once Raquel came into the picture, and then they had that bad ending at the Bad Blood pay-per-view, everybody was pretty much done with the rivalry, because Triple H found a way to mess up everything within that rivalry. The rivalry was already dying down a little bit, but then what happened at SummerSlam? Dominic betrayed Rhea, going to be with Liv, and it added another layer. But after about a month, it was gone. That spark that Triple H had was gone. And then what I said earlier about him not being the face, I'm going to be honest. I might say a hot take that might feel hot take-ish because I haven't heard nobody say it. But I feel like the reason John Cena's heel run was so bad in this farewell tour that he's supposed to be on this year has been such a disappointment is because deep down, Triple H would never forgive John Cena for being Vince's guy. He thought marrying the boss's daughter, getting to the good graces of your father-in-law will be the epitome, might have said it wrong, but be the proudest moment of his career. The Hall of Fame will be a close second, but the proudest moment of his career was marrying the boss's daughter, because that means from heart to heart he felt he could be in the good graces of his father-in-law. But the truth is, Vince never saw Triple H as the one. Never. He only saw one son, and that was the boy wonder himself, Shane. And for Triple H, it was disappointing because he always felt he was always there for Vince. He was always there for his wife. When his wife, was dealing with something and Vince and them would be involved, he was always there. Even when Vince had to do something, Triple H was always there because Shane didn't really, if you really know Shane McMahon, Shane didn't really, get along with his father very well. But Triple H always got along with Vince, and maybe he didn't have to, but he always tried to get in the good graces of Vince. And that was partially because he was married to Stephanie. But Vince never saw Triple H the way Triple H saw him. He saw one guy at it, John Cena. And I think deep down, Triple H never forgave John Cena for being the face of WWE. Because I talked about it. At a time in WWE when Triple H was trying to work his way up into the business and be on that upper echelon status, there was guys that was already above him. Shawn Michaels was above him already. And I mean, he was already above him before, but you get the point that I'm about to say. Shawn Michaels was above him. Then Shawn Michaels left. Then two guys that we know very well by the name of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Stone Cold Steve Austin surpassed Triple H as being the man. And if you know the story with Triple H and The Rock, they didn't really have a good relationship back in the day, and they still don't have it to this day. Because while Triple H was grinding, feel like he was grinding to become the best, The Rock was already the best. Just like that. Vince McMahon was trying to push The Rock because he saw something, while Triple H felt like The Rock was getting too easy of a way. Stone Cold, so he couldn't do nothing about that, but The Rock was different. And then what happened? Once these two people was gone, he thought, oh yeah, Shawn Michaels, he not going to be the same. Undertaker, yeah, but Undertaker's a different story in my opinion. Undertaker never wanted to be the guy. It was just Vince always saw him as the guy because he's been with Vince for the longest time. But Undertaker never really talked about being the face of WWE. No. Undertaker wanted to kick your, you know what, cash his check and leave. That's all Undertaker wanted to do. So while Triple H thought he was going to be next man up, the real next man up was really to the two guys from OVW and Dave Bautista and John Cena. And if you remember, they were trying to push Dave Bautista really hard. But then John Cena blew people out of their minds with the popularity he got. And then they transferred from Dave to John, and Dave was never the same. So all this time in WWE, Triple H never been the face. He's always been second fiddle. And now that he's the face of WWE creator, he's going to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, however he wants. And there's two things we can do about it. Nothing and like it. And I sure disagree with that, because that's the point of being a fan, Triple H. We're going to critique the product. You can't say be a fan, don't be a critic. If you can't take the criticism, there's no point of you being WWE creator. Say what you want to say about Vince McMahon, the sexual allegations that he got going on. But when we talking about his booking prowess, his booking magician, Vince McMahon was good at creating new stars, the spontaneous sometimes, and try to put on a good product week in and week out. And we know that's hard. So if Triple H ain't for the grind, move along. Because somebody's willing to take that spot and is going to try to do better. But this year has been bad for him. But this is why I feel like he's been a fraud booker. Maybe we gave him too much credit for NXT. Maybe we didn't. I don't know. I don't think nobody really knows. I think, yes, he was an architect, but somebody had to keep it going. Just saying. So I want to ask y'all this question. You can comment below if you want. And we're going to end the video like this. Do you think Triple H is not the booker we once thought? Or do you think this is a history of wrestling cycles being repeated? That he just had one good year, one bad year, and the next year he might be great, and so on. Because the truth is, Vince didn't always have great booking years either. So let me know down in the comment section. I hope y'all enjoy this video of exposing that fraud booker that is the game. And there's two things you can do about it. Nothing and like it. I hope y'all enjoyed the ride that I took y'all on. And I'll see y'all next time, next video. Peace.